Hey everybody, welcome to the Midweek Check-in. Hey, I don't know if you've noticed, but we are reading a ton in the book of Luke this time around in our Lectio Divina journals. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but I have definitely noticed that there are a ton of parables in this book. In fact, I did a little bit of research and I found out that there are more parables in the Gospel of Luke than there are in any of the other Gospels. And I got to thinking to myself, I really like the parables. I would love to sit down and talk to you guys. What do you think about the parables? But I really like them, and I was like, I wonder why Jesus used the parables. And I came up with a couple of my own ideas, which I'll share with you in a minute. But I also came up with one biblical reason, and I'll read that to you right now. I'm actually going to be reading it out of the Message version, and I am in Matthew 13, 10 through 17. Here we go. The disciples came up and asked, "Why do you tell stories?" Stories is another word for parables. He replied, "You've been given insight into God's kingdom. You know how it works. Not everybody has this gift, this insight. It hasn't been given to them. Whenever someone has a ready heart for this, the insights and understandings flow freely. But if there's no readiness, and trace of receptivity soon disappears. That's why I tell stories, to create readiness, to nudge the people toward receptive insight. In their present state, they can stare, this is funny, they can stare till doomsday and not see it. Listen till they are blue in the face and not get it. I don't want Isaiah's forecast repeated all over again. Your ears are open, but you do not hear a thing. Your eyes are awake, but you do not see a thing. The people are blockheads. Blockheads says that right here. They stick their fingers in their ears so they don't have to listen. They screw their eyes shut so they don't have to look, so they won't have to deal with me face to face. And let me heal them." Oh my gosh, you guys. So this is basically telling us that the reason that Jesus used parables or stories, essentially they're the same thing, is so that people who didn't get to experience him firsthand, face to face, can understand. That really makes sense to me because I think of things like the ABCs. Well, there's a song to the ABCs. A, B, C, D. We remember it, right? It's how we remember the ABCs. And that's a way that song and story are both ways that we can remember things that we need to kind of ingest. Does that make sense? I thought of also back to 9th grade biology. In 9th grade biology, I don't know if you guys did this or not, but I learned a song about cellular reproduction and it stuck with me. I could remember the way a cell reproduces because I added song to it. Well, song and story alike actually help us to internalize what we are learning. Another way that it's really, really good, parables or stories are really good for us, is that we can also see ourselves within the story. So when we're talking about a farmer sowing seeds, well, we might not all be farmers, but we can imagine ourselves planting something. And where we plant it and how that's planted and how we go about nurturing that, we can see ourselves in that story. So Jesus used this as a way to get to our hearts, to get to the hearts of the people who didn't get to experience him one-on-one like the disciples did, but who are going to read about him later or hear stories about him. The Bible wasn't originally written down. Originally, the stories about Jesus were told verbally. So lots and lots of story, you guys. Parable, story. It's really, really important, and it helps us remember lots and lots of different things that we need to know and remember, just like song does. And by the way, our own stories are really important for that too. And as we listen to other stories, we can see ourselves in each other's stories, and that's really powerful. We've talked about that a lot. We essentially are speaking in our own parables. All right, you guys, that's it for me. Have a great week. Enjoy reading your parables in the book of Luke, and I'll see you next time.